Welcome to KENS 5, and thanks for joining us for our Excel Award special. I'm Sarah Forgani. KENS 5 has teamed up with Credit Human to honor the best educators in our area with the Excel Award. We want to highlight the teachers who go above and beyond in the classroom and inspire our children to succeed. That includes a $1,000 check from our partner, Credit Human, for each educator. Now, we begin with Mr. Roger Lawson, who served our country and has served our children with so much dedication for nearly 2 decades. We celebrated Mr. Lawson in his East Central ISD classroom, awarding him with our KENS 5 Excel Award. He retires at the end of the 2023 school year after 19 years teaching.
So we just talked about electricity.
21 years serving, fighting in Iraq, and meeting many notable names.
I wasn't ready to retire. I mean, I was like 40.
Roger Lawson wasn't quite done.
Public service was what I was used to.
So he traded in his uniform.
You guys donated money
to serve in a different capacity.
So teaching was a really good fit for me. You guys probably do all of that.
Just the right fit for these kids at Oak Crest Elementary.
I do love science. I absolutely love science.
What happens if you don't pay your water bill?
For a man with a master's degree in aerospace science,
They shut your water off.
He's got the knowledge.
I went with the garage theme.
And the tools in his garage-themed 4th grade classroom.
It really helps me a lot, like with the fractions and dividing and multiplying.
Using wrenches to explain math is just a fraction of what goes on in here.
So like we build robots.
Robots, drones, 3D printing.
It's really cool. Like one day I want to get a 3D printer and like print my own stuff.
To show these kids they have options in life.
You know, they're not going to remember, oh, Mr. Lawson taught me how to divide or, how to add decimals. They're going to remember how, they felt in here. Most students graduate high school with a diploma, but at Randolph High School, some seniors also walk away with a certification in the medical field, all thanks to their teacher who built that program from the ground up. Meet our KENS 5 Excel Award winner for Randolph Field ISD, who has a reputation for being tough, but a 100% pass rate during the first 5 years of her program.
I've always been fascinated with the human body, and it just kind of fit.
Right out of high school, Nicole Bernal hit the ground running.
All the while, I was working as an EMT.
And going to college.
And I worked at University Hospital in the emergency room.
Her room looks a lot different these days.
This is my little simulation mannequin.
After a decade, she is still a certified EMT, only she doesn't ride a truck or work in the hospital anymore.
I am the CTE team leader and the CTE health science teacher.
Bernal's been teaching students at Randolph High School all about her former job.
She does everything in her power to make sure we're ready for college.
So log in.
7 classes under her program. Freshmen to seniors. Courses begin with the basics of science and end here.
So this is where the hands-on takes place.
In this makeshift clinic, getting practical in practicum. So they have to go through an interview process?
Mm-hmm. They have to interview with me. Kind of like a boss.
The process is rigorous, but for good reason.
You'll graduate high school with your CCMA, your phlebotomy, and EKG certification.
Here, students learn patient assessments, vital signs, and even how to draw blood.
They practice on each other, they practice on me, fellow faculty, they volunteer, and then we have family members that come in and volunteer.
Bernal says physical preparedness is crucial, but so is mental readiness. She doesn't hold back, sharing her challenges and the reason she left the hospital system in the first place.
It was kind of a rough year. Had a lot of patients that didn't make it, and I was just having a really hard time.
This is probably a much less stressful environment.
No, it's a different level of stress.
But like the medical field, teaching, Bernal says, also comes with a big payoff.
She makes me know that I can do it. She believes in me, which pushes me to go harder.
Watching her students move on to become successful in whatever they choose to do.
I'm a blood and guts kind of girl, and I like the adrenaline rush, and I like helping people.
Not one to give up, this next Excel winner persevered to become the outstanding teacher and role model she is today. As a child, she was a case study for a learning disability and says she can relate to her students' struggles. Meet our nominee from Somerset ISD.
You be our scribe, my love.
Reading and writing is Candace Anaya's passion.
But as a child,
So it wasn't always easy. I mean, I would cry.
no matter how hard she tried at school,
Definitely knew something was wrong.
And she would tell me that she didn't see things the way that other people saw them.
her mom, Ann, wouldn't give up after weeks of rigorous testing at the University of Houston.
And what a lot of people don't know is she has dyslexia.
When we figured it out, it was kind of a relief that it wasn't something I was doing purposely. It was just, that's how my brain was working.
Working extra hard became way of life, but it never held her back. Anaya graduated college, earned a business degree, then returned to school to get her teaching certification. Her struggle became her strength.
My teacher helps me learn and helps me read. I learned most of what I would do in sentences and stuff here, and plurals and nouns and verbs.
Today, Anaya is the lead reading, language arts, and social studies teacher for third grade at Somerset ISD's Barrera Veterans Elementary.
Because she's worked hard for everything she has.
I know what it's like to struggle and then to not making an excuse.
And no excuses for her students either.
But I can't do it. You can't. And then I share with them what happens. And that it is something that they can overcome.
Persevering, an important lesson she teaches these kids, some of whom are also dyslexic. To this day, Anaya says she spends weekends, after school hours, and time at home preparing just so she can be ready in class.
But I mean, do you still struggle with dyslexia to where you have to give yourself that extra time?
I do. I do. So I type things out, I write things out, I read things over and over and over again. I say them out loud to make sure my words are flowing correctly and I didn't invert anything.
So you study so you can help them study.
And I want to anticipate all the questions that they have. I know my students very well.
Some may wonder why of all the jobs, but her answer is exactly why these children look up to her.
Because I didn't want them to struggle like I did. I want to teach them strategies so that they don't have to put all the effort in that I do. So if I can give that back to them, it's all worthwhile.
From all the teachers I've had in the years, I've had some favorites. I've had some teachers I don't like very much because they just don't understand. But definitely, just from how she connects, I would say the whole, just understanding her students is probably the best thing.
These students were not at a loss for words when it came to describing their English teacher. They call her their second mom. She was nominated by Comal ISD for our KENS 5 Excel Award. And here's what happened when we surprised her at the school.
She's like your own personal cheerleader.
Yeah,
cheering you on.
and she's always there. She's there to recognize.
She's always on the sideline.
But not this line. Jennifer Fay was up front and center when every single person in this hallway came together to cheer her on.
I thought this was Secret Santa.
Fay is their English teacher at Hill Country College Preparatory High School. It wasn't always her plan.
I was old. I was in my late 30s, and I decided to enter the teaching profession.
A late start in her teaching career turns out to be exactly what she needed.
I was able to, I think, identify with the students because of my own children.
And what these kids needed too.
She's also like the team mom, the soccer mom.
At this project-based learning school, Fay has proven to be the perfect fit.
Being in a PBL school, it's so different than the traditional high school.
She knew what she was doing, and she was able to guide us through it when we were really nervous.
More life experience and previous corporate knowledge, let's just say Fay can reign.
I'm the cardboard queen. I'm the cardboard queen.
Yes, cardboard, but more so, what's on that cardboard?
The main thing with project-based learning is it needs to be authentic. It's something that you would really, a skill you would really, really need in the real life.
To push her students to new heights.
I was inspired by her to actually be a part of the school, and it made me feel a lot more confident in my ability to actually take leadership roles in the school.
Roles that involved a lot of research and reading scholarly articles, especially in an integrated classroom like Fay's.
I work with a history teacher and I'm English. The two are both humanities subjects. So say we are looking at trials and we're looking at how the government works. You might read To Kill a Mockingbird with that. And then you pair it up.
And there's always a strategy.
So whether it's the Mexican War for Independence or the French Revolution, you have to market this to your stakeholders and come up with an actual plan of how you will recruit and what are your actual goals and outcomes that you'll have.
With the conclusion being an experience
There's never a dull moment. She's always there. She always tries to make it entertaining.
and a relationship they will likely never forget.
I know a lot of us are just doing this because we love kids, and it's nice to feel appreciated, and just watching them blossom and grow makes me proud, like a mom.
I mean, I've been trying to get her to adopt me for the past 3 years, but
She's
you
a
know.
perfectly wonderful mother.
I love my mom.
You know, as the saying goes, patience is a virtue. And for one Southside ISD teacher, it's what he lives by in the classroom. His calm demeanor has earned him respect among students. They say their grades have actually improved because of the way he chooses to teach.
Traits.
Ever since he was just a kid,
Before we go on, does anybody know what a trait is? I'm very competitive.
Jason Garcia believed he could do anything.
Give me an example of a trait. So whatever you give me, I'm going to do the best that I can do at it. Any other examples of traits?
He's a handyman, a cook, a guitar player, and before he was a coach and a teacher.
I was a landscaper. I was running a landscaping company.
Turns out the company of kids
0.9
is what he
that's gonna
prefers
be
most.
90%.
He teaches 8th grade science and coaches track and football at Losoya
Okay,
Middle.
so I have 1,
He's
2,
a product
3.
of the South Side,
So it's observed in 3.
and he's proud.
I played football, I ran track, I played basketball, I was in National Honor Society, student council, all the UILs.
Proving
Here's the first
you
one.
can
So
succeed
write
at
this down.
anything you
Some of
put your
might
mind
have,
to,
more
no
like
matter
me.
where you live.
And I was just really proud because I'm very competitive, and I would go to things like for scholarships, well, on the north side, you know, some places, and it was just like kind of, oh, you're from the south side, you know, or like, oh, you know, and I was like, okay, so the only thing I can do is try super hard to prove you guys wrong or to show that I'm equal.
So that had a really tremendous impact on you and who you are today.
It did, very much, yeah.
Graduating salutatorian,
Because
exactly
I
the
think you
type
guys
of
like to
Cinderella
watch little
story
videos
he
and
loves
it'll
to
teach us a
share
little
with his
bit about
students.
Like I told the kids, my job is to show you guys that you're as good as anybody else and that you can do anything you want to do. And you're from the south side.
Even his Instagrammable classroom projects show he's a man not afraid to fail or fall.
I bring a skateboard in and show them like inertia, things like that. I think I fell down once. They're like, sir, that's inertia, right? Your body will tend to stay in motion and hit the ground. I was like, yeah, until it hit the ground. I'm like, oh.
He just doesn't really yell a lot. And like, I used to hate science, but when he teaches it, I like being here. I used to get C's, and now it's been the straight A's for science.
I'm just patient with them. You put that in your table of contents. A lot of times those little things, it's nothing personal. A lot of times it's maybe something happened at home. All living things. These children have difficult home lives, you know.
And do they open up to you and talk to you about
Yeah,
it?
they do. And once they do that, there's kind of like a bond that comes along. Hey, thank you for being such a good class today. I appreciate it, guys.
And check this out. This
Yes.
isn't the only thing you get.
Yeah, part of the award is a check for $1,000 just for you.
Oh my God.
An emotional moment when we walked into Miss Yvonne Rodriguez's classroom for the big surprise and presented her with a $1,000 check from Credit Human, plus a sweet gesture of flowers from her colleagues in Edgewood ISD.
Let's go. Rat and mat are rhyming words. Second job was working with kids with the YMCA. And from there it was like, oh, I like this. Okay, here it goes. What rhymes with star?
Ever since her college days, Yvonne Rodriguez had that gut feeling.
Their smiles. You want to do some more rhyming words?
Working with children would be in her future. Almost 30 years now. That's a really long time.
It is. Time flies, but I've enjoyed every year. Guess what? Do you remember the story we read yesterday?
3 decades now, and she's still with Edgewood ISD, the very spot that kicked off her teaching career and her marriage.
My husband's also a teacher. He's a coach. He teaches here. That's how we met.
A meeting of the minds that led to the couple dedicating their life to serving children.
Fly like a bird.
Today, she spends a lot of time in her pre-K classroom at Cardenas Early Childhood Center.
There it goes.
Singing, dancing, going on nature walks, and creating mini centers for reading and learning.
Like right now we're studying about jobs. So my one of my centers is going to be a veterinarian. Do you remember the picture? What's the picture?
An important lesson, different jobs for different folks. In fact, this classroom isn't Rodriguez's only line of work.
I do the pizza and the pasta.
Target is her second passion.
It's like relaxing. It's like putting pepperonis and counting.
Her part-time gig at the store, she says, has helped put her son through college. But to this day, she juggles both jobs for the love of it.
So the little red hen planted the seed.
And of course, the temptation to shop for her classroom is endless.
Okay, I'm going to go buy this for the class. I'm going to go buy this for
You're always shopping at Target.
Yes,
it's perfect.
yes, that dollar thing. Remember, rhyming words will rhyme the same. I want them to have a future. I want them to enjoy life because I feel that life has a lot to give.
It sure does. Now to Northeast ISD. This third grade math teacher's commitment to her students has been unwavering, even despite life's challenges. Catherine Moreno inspires her students every day.
So then what would be the last fact?
If there was ever doubt,
I knew exactly what I wanted to do when I was in elementary school.
teaching was never one.
It runs in my blood. I was meant to be a teacher.
Catherine Moreno loves being around these third graders.
Every person paid how much?
It became more apparent recently as she was going through personal struggles at home.
My husband and I were told that we had to go through the IVF process.
She juggled doctor's appointments for 2 years, all the while teaching at Camelot Elementary.
We only were left with one viable embryo. And so we just had every hope that she would take.
And then you finally got pregnant.
And then we did, and she is the best thing in the world.
Born at just 34 weeks, this tiny human being is giving Moreno a new lens on life.
I didn't think it was possible for me to care more, but somehow I do because of course I want the best for my daughter and I want her to have fantastic experiences in her education, and it just pushes me harder to provide that for my students.
The total.
Her students always come first.
Exciting I'm sorry.
Even during our interview.
Time to do attendance.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I really have to do attendance.
Okay.
Give me 1 minute. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Actually, I've never had anyone walk out on an interview before.
But it's exactly that sort of dedication
They love her.
that sets her apart.
Students, when they're in her class, want to be there every day. Her attendance is amazing.
Yes, she really lights up my day. Every day when I come in here, she always greets me with a smile.
Moreno isn't just their math teacher. She's also a sponsor on the school's house council.
Are you familiar with Harry Potter?
Of course.
So every staff member on campus and every student are sorted into houses.
After the sorting, the kids go on to participate in different community projects.
House council is fun. Like, it teaches you to do good things, good deeds.
Like putting on a drive to help the animal shelter and the homeless.
For 2 weeks, they stood out every morning and they were accepting donations. We were able to present a check to the Humane Society and they were so excited. We were just so proud of their hard work. I just can't bring myself to leave them. They need somebody to motivate them and push them to be their best, and that's what I try to do every day.
Set up your table.
We wanted to congratulate you and tell you thank you for everything that you do. A surprise for our Excel winner at Judson ISD's Hartman Elementary. Miss Stacy Vargo won our KENS 5 Excel Award, including $1,000 from Credit Human. As the district superintendent himself told me, Vargo is well known in the district. Teaching is not something she just does, it's who she is. The children feel her love day in and day out.
She's what? She's the best teacher ever.
This isn't just a classroom.
She lets us do stuff that we want to do.
Hartman Elementary is like a home for many of these kids.
She loves all of us.
They're talking about Stacy Vargo,
I don't talk to them, I talk with them.
their first grade teacher.
You have that conversation and you allow them to disagree.
So you're a daughter of the school district?
Yes.
Judson ISD has been a second home too for Vargo pretty much her entire life.
I went to what is now Hopkins Elementary. It was Kirby Elementary while Mr. Hopkins was the principal there. And then I went to Kirby Middle School and I'm a 99 graduate of Judson High School. Whoop, whoop.
It's even where she met her high school sweetheart. To this day, he helps her build school projects.
She comes up with the crazy ideas. I'm the muscle to get it built.
Ideas like this reading phone made of PVC pipes.
The phone goes back up and you whisper. And it helps them not just sound out words, but hear themselves sound out words. It builds better reading skills.
Watching her, you'd think Vargo has been teaching her entire career, but not so much.
I didn't go into teaching right away.
Life happened and she had to put the teaching dream on hold to care for her family. It wasn't until her 30s she was able to get her teaching certification.
Okay.
Now, not
So we're
only
gonna open
does
up
she
the
have her
page.
own classroom,
I think it's very awesome.
but also an after-school Lego club
It makes me feel like
made up of 36 children.
I'm part of this team. Like, I love my teacher so much.
It is some STEM activities, and they have to learn how to be partners to build and create stuff and make stuff work.
Creating stuff is in her spirit, never afraid to go a little wild.
I'll bring in like worms and stuff when we're studying soil so they can see that.
Seeing is believing, as the saying goes, and her love for these kids is clear.
Watching them blossom into these courageous and brave kids it's amazing. They're wonderful.
We're going to give you a check for $1,000.
Big smiles from Miss Elizabeth Padron at Harlandale ISD as she accepted our KENS 5 Excel Award. She has more than 15 years in education. Jessica Coombs shows us how Miss Padron's love for children brought her into the classroom.
Estoy viendo la vaquita. They're gonna be successful. They're gonna go to college and they're gonna have a bright future. They all know that. Muy bien, letra mayúscula.
Dare to dream, just one of the many life lessons taught in this Columbia Heights classroom.
Vocal.
That's the best part.
Ready?
Sometimes in English we read, and sometimes in Spanish.
Las mamás.
She will give her entire heart
Muy bien.
for these kiddos to be okay, and it's just a very safe environment, very calm, the kids feel the love when they come in here.
Playa.
A pillar of patience, Elizabeth Padron shares the sunny side with her bilingual first grade students.
Un momento.
Even when problems get tough.
I try to see the positive and see what they're going through. For me, my successful is based on doing partnership with families. Entonces deja espacio aquí y lo vamos
Coming to the U.S. from Mexico, this single mother of two never let fear stop her from chasing her dreams.
She's never been scared. There's not one obstacle that you can put in front of her that she won't, overcome. She's come through a lot of challenges, and she's always does it with a smile.
A escribir.
Building bridges to make learning a family focus.
Being a single mother with my kiddos, and then I wanted to have that bridge with teachers, but I didn't know how. So now that's what I'm trying to tell my families. Un detalle. We need to be partners for their education. ¿Listo?
Proving there's no limit on what you can achieve when you do the work.
Mande.
Her students say they're
proud.
Travadas.
She just exemplifies what a good teacher is and how she teaches from the heart. You see her and you just start to smile and you just feel like everything's going to be okay.
Gracias. Mande.
At Fort Sam Houston ISD, Lucy Guevara is making a big difference in the lives of students. Vanessa Croy finds out what fuels her passion for teaching.
A, B, C, D.
Whether it's a song
that was great.
or a high five.
We're gonna put the missing beginning sounds. What is bike?
In Lucy Guevara's classroom,
What's the first picture?
it's the little things that make a big difference.
I really love my job. I love coming in and knowing that we're gonna be learning. A is for
Guevara found her passion in high school.
very good. I always found myself trying to help people all the time. You need help with your homework. You need help with this. I'm like, I think this is my profession. I think I need to go into it.
The Laredo native started working in a clinical setting.
You can go ahead and sort your letters.
But that spirit for helping others led Guevara to this special education classroom at Fort Sam Elementary.
And our kids, what they need is motivation. That motivation and having to, first show them what we're gonna do, but definitely having it to where they are at, having it to present it at their level. So we know that's how they're going to be successful. That's good.
What does it mean to you when you see those little faces light up every day?
Oh my gosh, you saw them. Yeah, so they are just so happy. Some of my kiddos here are nonverbal, but they do show by your expression that they're happy. Awesome.
Watching her students grow and succeed, Guevara says, is what fuels her passion every day.
Are you ready for the beginning sounds?
What was one of the highlights of your career so far?
This. This for sure. This was a great surprise. Peak. I just like it when our students thrive, and then we start to see them go into the gen ed, classrooms. Wonderful! That to me is one of just the highlight of the day when I hear that. Letter P.
Vanessa Croy, KENS 5.
He's insightful and very good at teaching. That's what students at South San Antonio ISD will tell you about their teacher. But if you ask Michael Sorolla, he'll tell you his biggest lesson isn't about physics. It's about making mistakes, embracing them, and growing.
We're going to look at an offshoot of wave interferences called beats.
For a young man who saw himself on a different path,
I didn't really want to be a teacher. Crests match up.
Boy, did the years prove him wrong.
I just needed a job, and so I started coaching, and I like that.
Michael Sorolla has been teaching 17 years now.
I can't see doing anything other than teaching. Yeah, it's too much fun.
He's got the fun stuff all over his classroom.
Honestly, I get a paycheck to come in and play with things. And you want to light a bolt on fire? Let's light the bolt on fire and see what it looks like through an infrared camera. I get paid to do that.
Sorolla makes it sound easy.
Here's your 2, right? See how they're both 1,000?
Truth is, he's just really good at explaining the subject. Dual enrollment physics and scientific research and design.
Yeah, he's made my critical thinking a lot better.
Yeah.
His 10th, 11th, and 12th graders at South San Antonio High School say he just knows how to spark their interest.
And he likes to connect physics to the real world, and it makes it easier to learn.
Look at these 2 numbers.
He's really given me the confidence to really tackle hard subjects.
Pretty tough subject. It's what they teach in college, actually. But these students are not intimidated. They credit Sorolla.
Whenever I walk in, I know it's always going to be a good day. There's always something cool to learn from him. We always make this joke. He always has something for something. If we mention something, he's like, oh, I got something for that.
High school's a hard time for kids. I remember being in high school and trying to make that 4 years maybe a little more manageable, even while teaching a really hard subject.
To this day, he remembers the teacher who now inspires his easygoing teaching style.
I don't think I've ever talked to my physics teacher since then, but knowing he had that effect on me, that's a different kind of reward.
Sorolla hopes he's that teacher one day. His biggest reward, the ability to reach so many young people and watch them thrive.
Seeing people succeed at something that's really hard, they don't really think they can at the beginning of the year, and then at the end of the year it's like, oh, that wasn't that bad. You never know if you can be successful at something until you actually try it. What's the worst thing that can happen? You fail. Oh well, you learn something from it.
So many amazing teachers truly making a difference, and we had a chance to gather all of this year's Excel Award winners. 19 educators were honored at a banquet at the Museum. In 20-plus years, KENS 5 and Credit Human has recognized more than 450 teachers, so a big congratulations from all of us here at KENS 5, and that is our Excel special. Thank you so much for joining us as we recognize and honor some of the best educators in and around San Antonio. To see more Excel Award winners, go to kens5.com/excel. I'm Sarah Frugani.